There was a woman who had been suffering from hemorrhages for 12 years. 12 years. So often, this passage has been referred to as the passage about the woman with the flow of blood. But as I was reading this week, one German scholar refers to her as the woman who took initiative. And I like this, the woman who took initiative. If I only touch his cloak, I will be made well. Feels so appropriate, I think, that this passage falls on the day that we are observing Pride this year. And it feels appropriate, I think, because so often we have contrasted pride with humility. Pride versus humility. But I wonder if a better version would be pride versus shame. Pride versus shame. Surely this woman who had been suffering from bleeding for 12 years felt shame or was made to feel shame about her condition. In the ancient world, women's health so often resulted in conditions that rendered them unclean, that rendered them somehow removed from community, that rendered them in great pain. And this woman who had been suffering for 12 years, is not passive about her condition, but says, in Mark's gospel, we hear that she has been under the treatment of physicians for many years, and that they had not made her condition better, but in fact worse, and that she had lost all of her money. So in Mark's version, we learn that she has been treated, that it has failed, and that she has become impoverished due to her treatment. And so she comes to Jesus in a desperate state, but not so desperate because she knows that she is worthy of being made well. She doesn't say, Jesus, if you please, could you possibly consider making me well? She says, no, I'm going to touch the hem of his garment and I will be made well. I will be made well. This is pride. This is the opposite of shame. This is the opposite of cowering, waiting to be noticed, hoping to be noticed, hoping to be healed. This is an assertion of a desire to be healed and also an acknowledgement that she deserves to be healed. This is pride. I think this is so much of what LGBTQ pride is about. It is about coming out of the shadows. It is coming out into community and saying, I am good, I am worthy. I am worthy of God's blessing, I am worthy of God's healing, I am worthy of community, I am worthy of love. We can learn so much from the woman who took initiative, from the woman who suffered for so long with hemorrhages. So often in the Bible, we see one person seeking healing and being healed, and yet surely whenever one person is being healed, there were many others in any given crowd in need of healing, and I often wonder, what about them? What about them? What about the others who needed healing, who may not have had the bravery and the pride and the courage to go and touch the hem of Jesus' garment? Because indeed, in the other versions of this story, Jesus, when his garment is touched, is alarmed. Because as we hear in Mark's gospel, when the woman touched the hem of his garment, he felt his power going out of him. His power going out of him and being shared. And there was alarm. Who touched me? Who was this? By the time we get to Matthew's version, it is all a little calmer. It's a little calmer. Take heart, daughter, your faith has made you well. But there is bravery, there is courage, there is pride in seeking healing. But what about those who did not go and reach for the hem of Jesus' garment? And I think this is why it is so very important that healing is not just about individuals. It is not just about our individual needs, our individual conditions. Healing, we often see in the scriptures, healing enables people to enter back into community. enter back into the ritual life of their community, the social life of their community, the economic life of their community. Healing enables participation in community. But I think that in the year of our Lord, 2026, as much as we are called to individual pride in who we are and who God has made us to be, in the gifts that God has given us, that we are called as much or more so to pride in and for one another. That we are called to be proud of one another, to name one another's gifts, to call out one another's belovedness in community. This is the whole point of dragging our sometimes weary and bedraggled bodies to a room that does not have air conditioning when you surely have air conditioning in your car, in your home, and you are here for some reason. I think we are often here. We need something, we want something, we desire something. We might not be as clear about it as the woman who took initiative, but we need something too. And it's so often something that we cannot give ourselves. We just cannot give ourselves. I'll admit that this week when I walked into the church and the cloister in the hall for the first time and saw the profusion of rainbows, I was anxious. I wouldn't have put this many rainbows up because I'm still anxious about being gay in church, about whether it's okay. I know it's okay, but there's still that anxiety, that very primitive anxiety. Is it really okay? What if it's not okay with someone? What if they walk out? What if they take their pledge with them? What if? All of these old anxieties that just don't go away. I know you're okay with it. But still, I'm like, this is a lot of rainbows, people. I almost wrote in my tidings note, I didn't do it, but I'm glad someone did it. I'm glad someone did it and had the courage to bedeck this place in rainbows. I even forgot, I don't know, maybe it was subconsciously, I forgot my rainbow stole and I had to have Luke bring it. It was at home. I'm still scared of rainbows a little bit. But you have helped me. You have helped me to be more okay with who I am. We had only been here 2 years. In the immediate aftermath of COVID, we had to have a limited attendance wedding, Luke and I. We had 50 people. We spaced them out. Do you remember how we used to space ourselves out in here? Yeah, we used to space ourselves out. So we spaced our wedding guests out. There were about 50 of them. And it was beautiful, and it was wonderful, and it was kind of a little tiny bit anticlimactic. Who hasn't dreamed of a big wedding? But a few weeks later, you had a party for us outside around the fountain. You had a party for us. And I did not expect to cry today, but I will never forget that you did that for us. These boys who grew up in churches where this could never happen, ever, being here in a place where it could. And that you said not only we're glad that you are here, but we celebrate who you are. We celebrate the love that you found, and we'll put some rainbows on it. You have helped me to embrace the rainbow. But the point of church is not just to help your priest, although it's wonderful when that happens, but it's to do that for one another. It's to notice those things in one another that might be wounds that people are holding, shame that people are holding, fear that people are holding, anxiety that people are holding. It's to notice that and wonder gently, are you okay? What's going on? I like you, even though you're a little weird. Some of us around here are a little weird, but we can allow that in this place, right? There's room for weird. There's room for weird. So my encouragement to you is to think about pride as a communal activity, as an activity of naming your pride in one another, right? It's easy for us to be proud of Cece, right? Cece, who stands up here and waves at the camera like her life depends on it, the face of welcome. It's easy for us to be proud of her, but can we also be proud of one another? We don't grow out of that need, the need for pride, the need for affirmation, the need for love. I was looking this week at some numbers as I was trying to pull together some materials that I will put on a flash drive for whoever comes to serve here next. I was looking at the roster that I have to compile every year for our parochial report, and I knew this to be the case, but I didn't know exactly the case. And the case is that there are more of you who are new here in the last 6 years than who have been here longer than 6 years. There are 119 of you who are new in the last 6 years, and there are 99 of you who have been here longer than that. Some of you who may have arrived more recently might just feel, I got to wait around to have a voice here. I'm so new. Well, half of this place is so new. And so part of being proud of one another is getting to know one another. People who've been here 20 years and people who've been here 5 minutes. It's getting to know one another well enough to be proud of one another, to embrace one another in joy and in sorrow. It is a challenge to become one community when there are people who've been here so long and people who are brand new and come with all kinds of new ideas, like rainbows, right? I don't think there were a lot of rainbows here. Maybe in your hearts there were rainbows, but I don't know that there were so many rainbows a while back. My encouragement to you is, as we move toward this time of transition, after today I will be gone for a few weeks. I'd planned way back in January for an art class that is part of what I'm envisioning for myself in the future, and I paid for the class and it was non-refundable, and I've struggled, should I not go to the class because I only don't have that many weeks left, but I'm going to the class. And then I'm going to come back for just a few weeks. After today, I only have 3 more Sundays with you. Only 3 more. Our retired clergy will be with you for the next few weeks, and I'm so grateful to them for so many things, but especially for the ways that they bring different voices, different perspectives. I'm so grateful that we have women in leadership here, women clergy who we can learn from and grow with. I'm going on now. I think this is the problem when you don't write your sermons anymore. You cry, you go on. All right. The call is to be proud of one another. To be proud of one another, we have to know one another. Knowing one another is something you can do in June, July, August, September. You can do with or without a rector. You can get to know one another and deepen community at any time. You are the secret sauce of this church. Be proud of that. Be proud of one another. Amen.